Welcome to the Capitalist Sage podcast. We're here to bring you advice and tips from seasoned pros and experts to help you improve your business. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisor. My co-host is Rico Figliolini with Mighty Rockets Digital Marketing and the publisher of the Peachtree Corners magazine.
Hey, Karl.
Rico, how about introducing our sponsors today?
Sure. What I want to say is that we are at Atlanta Tech Park podcast studio here in the city of Peachtree Corners along the infamous and famous, actually, autonomous vehicle track that is in the city that everyone's looking at. That Sprint 5G is part of, that we have the Curiosity Lab of Peachtree Corners. So we're doing these podcasts here, Capitalist Sage, twice a month, and they're basically our sponsor of the show.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. Well, we're going to jump right in today. We're going to talk to today's guest, Weare Gratwick, Chair of the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce, and also the Gwinnett Market President for the newly chartered bank, Tandem Bank, that's here. Hi, Weare, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Karl. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, your role with the chamber and start there, and maybe a little bit about this Tandem Bank and
Sure.
what they're doing.
Sure. So I am the 2019 and 2020 chair of the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber. For those who may not be familiar with the organization, it started in 2012 to serve small business owners in this part of the county. A lot of times we love, and I am a member of the Gwinnett Chamber, and they serve a purpose that the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber will never serve. The big chamber has a seat at the table when it comes to big picture, education, infrastructure, those type of things. They have a seat at the table. So I'd encourage business owners to join the Gwinnett Chamber because that's their voice at the big table. Where we come in is at a local level. What we can provide the small business owner, whether it's networking, opportunities to serve in the community, volunteer opportunities, that sort of thing. So the chamber formed back in 2012. One of the things that I really enjoy about the chamber is that we keep all of the previous chairs of the chamber from previous years stay on a past chairs board. They are my guiding light, if you will. I meet with them on a monthly basis and consult with them. We have a formal board, but we rely on the experience of the past chairs to continue to guide the chamber. So I think I find that unique and I find that very valuable to the chamber.
So since the chamber's been formed and so on, each year you see progress happening in the business community. So I'm curious if we take a look at 2019 as we're coming into the end of the year. What's some of the things that you've seen that you've been proud of that the chamber's been able to help assist the local business community over the past year?
Sure. One project that I'm particularly passionate about because we've been working on this, I think, for at least 2 years now. We call it Project Curb Appeal, but basically what it is the medians on Peachtree Industrial between Peachtree Corners and Norcross have been maintained by the county over the years, and we felt like there was an opportunity to maintain it at a higher level, like we see on Peachtree Parkway. Felt like it would look nice to have both well maintained, and so we felt like that was a role the chamber could play, and we have. We've gone to the county, gotten their permission for the first two medians to maintain those from Holcomb Bridge all the way up to Paul Duke High School. And so we are now beginning back in May doing all the mowing, handling all the mowing, and we partner with Corners Outreach, which is a local nonprofit here. Larry Campbell has, and they're a fantastic group. And he started as an offshoot to his service to the community, a landscape company. We thought, who better to partner with? And so now we're at the point where we're going to do the plantings. We didn't want to do them in the hot summer months, so now we're going to do them in the fall, and they're going to be going in within the next couple of 3 weeks, and very excited to have that. So you'll see the signs going up on those two medians, beautification by Southwest Gwinnett Chamber in partnership with Corners Outreach. So we've had a local landscape architect draw up the plans for that, so we're excited to execute that.
that's a perfect example of how you have something that may have been managed by the county, local government, where the business community represented through the Southwest Chamber were able to come in using local business owners, nonprofits to collaborate to create something better that each one by themselves probably couldn't pull off individually. Do you see that as a role that chambers of commerces in cities like the Southwest and some of the others that can play in the communities, and what other things can they do?
That's a great question. So yes, I think organizations like that involved in the local community are the best situated to spot where there are needs in the community. So where can we fill these needs? And that's where this opportunity came from. Otherwise, we're involved in connecting business owners through networking events. I'll specifically point out Connect Over Coffee, which Frank Keller runs, and every Friday that we're not at our first Friday sort of signature breakfast event, Frank has a group over at Atlanta Bread Company, and he's got quite a following over there. And he gets quite a number of folks that come in on Friday morning and talk about what they've got going on and what they're looking for. And so we're excited about that. Business After Hours, these are free events too. Business After Hours, where we try and look at, okay, is there a local restaurant or venue that we can help support? We are going to be we're excited in December, I think we've just announced this, that we're doing a Taste of the Holidays here at Atlanta Tech Park, I think it's December 19th, that's going to be a Toys for Tots event.
Nice.
So we'll, help bring in toys for tots. So we're excited about that. So anytime we can find needs in the community, that's where we want to be. I alluded to First Fridays, and let me mention First Friday. That's our signature breakfast. It's at 7:30 on typically the first Friday of the month. And we've had this year in 2019, Charlotte Nash has spoken to our group, Alvin Wilbanks, Rob Woodall, Stan Hall, who's very involved with Revel, which is the big project going up at Sugarloaf. And of course, every year in July we have our mayor's panel. So we have Lois and Mike and Craig, Norcross, Berkeley Lake, Peachtree Corners, and they do a sort of a forum for us in July, and that's one of our most well-attended events. And then, of course, next month we've got Nick Messino, who's chair of the Gwinnett Chamber, who's going to be joining us in December.
So one of the things that I noticed, and I'm also a member, and I found really fascinating, the Connect Over Coffee. So if folks don't know, imagine 20 to 25 people sitting around, getting to know each other, learning about each other's business, helping to support each other's business as a regular way to help get your business visibility in the community. And it's done weekly. It's pretty low pressure to go there. And also, it's done at a local small business here in the community, all the way to the First Fridays, which is really informative. If you want to hear what's going on, you've had Beth Moore, who we had on last week there, both from people that are in local government, people that may introduce topics. I know they had one on leadership and cross-cultural diversities and intergenerational. It's a good way for small business owners to keep kind of feeding their knowledge base and learn, because when you're running a business, you don't have time to attend all the different things, but it's baked in a way that you can build friendships and connections with other local business leaders.
And the other thing that, in addition to sort of playing that role, finding needs in the community, providing volunteer opportunities, we also want to provide an avenue for local business owners to know what's going on in the city of Norcross and the city of Peachtree Corners and Berkeley Lake. By having a strong connection with both cities, we're able to, if you, the business owner, may be disconnected from local government, we can be a conduit there in terms of, okay, what's going on with the city, or what's this going to be? So we like to play that role as well.
Plus, I think the chamber also provides a place for representing the business community with government. I mean, as far as when legislation or regulations are coming up.
Yes, yes.
There's a value to having the chamber involved in that to bring that forward, right?
Absolutely.
Especially if you have a position on it, then you want to make sure it's being handled in a friendly way towards business.
Yes, and I can transit was a big issue at the beginning of
Right.
2019,
Yeah.
as you might recall. And Charlotte, when she spoke in January, spoke at length about that. We actually had Scott Haggard with the ARC, Atlanta Regional Commission, speak in February, more specifically about transit and what was going to be on the ballot in March. So, absolutely, we want to educate and inform local business owners about what's going on various topics.
Did you see that more? Did you see the business environment more friendly towards allowing MARTA to come in or rapid transit to come in? There's a difference, right, between the two?
Absolutely. And I would say the business community, in my roles with both Leadership Gwinnett, the Chamber, the city, my experience in talking to people countywide, particularly when business owners and folks involved with business, yes, I would say, and community leaders tend to favor. We have a transportation issue regionally that we have to solve as a region. It's not isolated just to Peachtree Corners or Norcross or Berkeley Lake or the Gwinnett County or the Northern Arc. It's, as a region, we've got to solve this. And of course, as you know, with what's going on in Savannah and the expanded port and the additional trucks coming up, those trucks are coming right through Gwinnett County, right up I-85. So we have to solve that as a region. We're not. That's not an issue Peachtree Corners is going to solve on its own. We have to work with our leaders across the region.
Well, I could say direct impact. Talked to a couple business leaders, and they were talking about business owners this week. They were talking about their struggles with growth. That they'll have a facility that has the ability to do a repair shop with 6 bays, and they've got 4 technicians to be able to do. They could do more, but finding people is the challenge. They're all being constrained in revenue and economic because finding people. And one of the things is with such low unemployment rate, transit access, being able to get people from one part of town to another in ways that don't involve traffic influences people's decisions on where they want to work. And so I'm seeing it at the really grassroots level. It may not present itself as a transit problem, but is it a factor influencing the ability to get people to fill the positions that are there? Absolutely. If you walk through any business, I like walking through the shopping plazas right here. If you go through Ingalls Shopping Plaza, the Forum, any one of them, count how many hiring signs you see there. And so that's showing strong economic activity in the area. And transit could play a role to help.
Yeah, it's a good news, bad news, right? The economy's good, unemployment's very low, but if you need somebody, it can be challenging to find that right person.
And if you need the qualified person, because God knows I've been through drive-throughs and businesses where it's like, really? It's like, why did they hire this person?
Yeah.
Because they needed someone.
Yeah.
And that's sad to say, but unfortunately, that's what I see sometimes.
So speaking of hiring folks, you had mentioned earlier Tandem Bank, which I'm very excited to be a part of, the first new bank formed in Georgia in over 11 years. It's been since 2008, and we've had a number of mergers and acquisitions. So the number of banks is, I think, in Atlanta has declined by 60% in the last 10 years. There is a shortage of community banks. We see a real opportunity here. But speaking of hiring, I'm excited. I can't announce who it is yet, but we've got somebody joining after the first year that will be joining here at my office at Atlanta Tech Park with Tandem Bank. That person will be responsible for new business development on the deposit side and working in conjunction with me. But this person is well connected within the Peachtree Corners community, lived here for a long time, so I am very excited. We got very lucky in this hiring environment to find this person. So look for Rico. We'll be announcing that we put an ad after the first of the year in the Peachtree Corners magazine. So very excited about that.
I wonder if you could comment around communication. I know when I moved here, it's been about 5 years since I came to Peachtree Corners, and when I tried to learn about what was happening in the community, it turned out to be a challenge to find. There were some online places, there were some things, but if you wanted to get a pulse, having good communication through various methods, it's hard for a new person to find that. One of the things that's nice through the First Fridays and through the chamber events, that's one mechanism of communication. The Peachtree Corner magazine is another, where highlight activities here. So doing a great job with developing that. what other ways can you interact with the community, the business community, maybe leveraging technology and other ways to help continue to keep people informed and connected? And is there a role for that in the Southwest Chamber?
Well, there is, and I think folks like Rico with Peachtree Corner magazine, he's done a fantastic job. I mean, that I think is quickly become a must-have in the Peachtree Corners community. And I'll speak more directly about Peachtree Corners. No slight to Norcross, but I live at Peachtree Corners and serve on the city council here. But the city has done a much better job over the last 5 years in terms of providing, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Right.
information on the
YouTube.
website, YouTube, pushing out information to folks so that you don't have to look as hard to find it. I'll also give a plug to our friends at the Peachtree Corners Business Association, who also do a great job, and they're visible in the community too, and can be a conduit for information. So I think we have, if I go back to when the city was first formed to where we are today, quite a bit of difference. You know, if you go back to Peachtree Corners
Sure.
patch, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was that was sort of the.
I think that's
that
where I
was it.
started.
Yes.
That might have been the first thing.
So
I
we
did.
made a lot of strides there, and any role the chamber can play in helping with that communication. And we try and list upcoming events. We'll push out to our members upcoming events and what's going on in the community. Atlanta Tech Park, Prototype Prime, Curiosity Lab are also getting information out. I don't know if you noticed with Curiosity Lab with the city, they've got the sign, the electronics
Right.
signs up,
Right.
and so there'll be information there provided as well. And of course, folks want to know what's going on in the town green, and I would encourage folks to get the Peachtree Corners, the app,
Right.
in terms of keeping tabs on what's coming up.
Yeah. And it's not just that, it's also you can renew your business license, I think, on there, and
Yes.
a few other things as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, it just makes life easier working with the city.
Well, one of the other areas that if you own a small business, and I like talking to that group of folks and how they can impact the community, maybe you can comment a little bit about ways to get involved in the community through volunteering. I recently had the pleasure of joining up with Junior Achievement and a group there, and I will plug for that group. Pretty much every day they bring students in to do an interactive business simulation in a really creative, fun environment geared towards 6th and 8th graders. And as I talked to some of the folks running it, they have a need for volunteers every week. They think it takes about 20 or so is the need per day. And you wouldn't know about it as individual business, kind of what's going on there.
Yeah.
But to know that you can participate in that with groups of people, help the next generation, and this is particularly, they've got to calculate pricing, they've got to do inventory, they've got a CEO and a CFO and process invoices. They're teaching that next generation how to do things.
So you must have done BizTown with
Yeah,
6th
BizTown,
graders.
yep.
So I had the opportunity to go up there, and this is at Discovery High School here in Gwinnett County, and they have BizTown and Finance Park, and Finance Park is for the 8th graders, and I had the opportunity to do that with the Gwinnett, with the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber here a couple weeks ago. And a group of 14 or 15 of us were up there, along with numbers other volunteers, and the kids go up there, and the 8th graders, they have an opportunity they get assigned a role in life. Okay, so I'm a single dad, I got 2 kids, or I'm married, and here's your job, and here's how much your annual income is. Then they go about and learn about these different businesses: insurance, travel, entertainment, car, housing. And basically throughout the day they gather information, and then they have to figure out and make choices for their own life given the circumstances they're given, and come up with a budget. They have to apply for a car loan, apply for a mortgage. It's
That's
funny,
good.
the kids will, this was the funny takeaway, is because, particularly the ones that have a spouse, and they'll qualify for a car loan, and they'll use the allotment for their car, and they'll decide that their spouse will take public transportation. So that was quite a, so the chamber is able to bring folks together to kind of do those type of things, and certainly anybody who wants to get involved, you can reach out, I think, directly to go online to Junior Achievement Discovery High School and find opportunities there. But we also got together this summer and participated in Project Kids Eat, which Margie Assoff organized for us, and that's where we go in and prepare, package, and deliver meals for students who during the school year get free and reduced lunch at the schools, but don't necessarily have that during the summer months, and so it's provided by this group, and so we were able to participate in that. So
I'd probably see also an opportunity for you guys, for businesses that are big enough to provide internship programs also. I know that Paul Duke, and I think Norcross, but Paul Duke actually, STEM High School actually requires internship. I think it's the junior and senior year.
yes,
before you graduate.
They do, and
Right.
I have had the opportunity to get through the Rotary Club of Peachtree Corners, which I'm involved with.
Okay.
We have an annual event called Career Exploration, and we partner with the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber. We also partner with the Peachtree Corners Business Association to put this on. We couldn't do it without each of the organizations. But the neat thing is we provide five $1,000 scholarship opportunities provided by the Rotary Club to students that there are the achievement scholarships, you have the application, and those high achieving students have the opportunity for those. But this is one that's more for everybody. Everybody's got any senior who's got a 2.5 GPA or above is eligible to get a scholarship. And we have local business leaders who serve as panelists. We want to create panels for careers that the kids are interested in, students are interested in. And then we also solicit input from businesses because we want businesses to be there, because we'll have booths there or tables there. So we may have, for example, this year, CPA. We've had a CPA panel in the past. This year we're going to have a booth, so we'll have a couple of local CPA firms there represented, so the kids can have some informal conversations with the folks that are there, as well as hear from panelists on things from careers in cybersecurity, film and TV. Lisa Anders up at, I'll plug Explore Gwinnett, because she has been fantastic in getting us a super panel on film and TV careers. The students love that one. Music. This year, if anybody knows, I would love to put together a panel on social media influencer. I don't know where or how to find that, but that is really something that the students are very interested in. So this event will be January 30th of 2020. And this year it's at Paul Duke. We rotate it between Norcross High School. We alternate every other year. We're excited to have it the first time at Paul Duke High School this year, and we have a couple of interns that are helping us with all the logistics and putting this big event together.
Excellent.
That is fabulous. One of the areas that we talked about, kind of younger kids, and how the Southwest Gwinnett and groups like that help support that generation, and we talked about business. What about the kids in college? Creating what types of things and roles do you think the Southwest can play? Either kids that are graduating high school, technical training in this, or keeping the talent here locally, giving educational opportunities for business owners and people that work at businesses to continue their education, skill sets locally. Have you seen much happening in that arena?
Karl, I have not. And one of the challenges, that's one of the things, particularly with career exploration, we're challenged with, help these kids find internships. The challenge with that, and we certainly want to be a conduit wherever we can, the challenge is that most businesses want to have the ability to, choose who they want interning, but selecting who they want interning for them. So they don't always come through the chamber. The Gwinnett Chamber, I know Adam Foran is very involved with internships, particularly with college kids in the county. He's somebody I have talked to about getting at our career exploration event. We've actually had an internship come out of that I know of. I believe it was 2 years ago at our career exploration night. One of the companies is up here at Prototype Prime, was on one of the panels, and ended up having a conversation with a student, and lo and behold, they ended up interning down here that summer. So, there's anecdotally opportunities there, but in terms of it's an area I would love to find out, explore ways that we can do more in that regard. And I think Paul Duke is playing a big role in that, because they're charging their students, if you're going to graduate, you've got to have an internship.
Correct.
So they are partnering with businesses, and so we don't want to. We want to find an area where we can help, but we don't want to overstep our bounds either.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, there's roles where you don't have to administer it, but to create the environment to make it easier to connect the two.
Yes, absolutely.
If you've got the ear of a business community through the membership, the hundreds of members that are here, and I know for a fact that many of them have hiring needs.
Mhm.
Sometime it's reframing their thinking on how to solve that problem by looking and exploring, developing talent from internships, and they graduate and they come and work and they
Mhm.
grow up through that. Just helping them see examples of that working successfully. And it's amazing how the network could start. Hey, if I know a person that needs something really good. They worked with me last year. I'd recommend them for your store or your shop. Playing a role there.
I think I know because my son goes to Paul Duke, and my wife has been helping set up some of the feeding or finding some of the companies to do internships with. That they're also going to be like doing interview programs where these kids can actually be interviewed by a business owner or someone from a human resource department. This way they can feel how it is to actually experience an interview. So, I mean, it's because the school's a little smaller at this point in time. It's not huge. There's not 2,000 kids. There's under 1,000. It's a little easier to do that with the seniors in that level. But it definitely gives them an experience that they won't otherwise
Summer
see.
Hour has done something the past few years. I understand that they are going to continue that this year. They have their 8th graders go through an interview process with, and so we as chamber members go over there and we volunteer. Several of our members go over there and volunteer for either the morning or afternoon,
Right.
and they bring the kids in and they have they put together a resume. You know, it's very small scale because they are 8th graders, right?
Sure.
And but you're still having the same types of conversations. You know, tell me about yourself. What are your aspirations? And having that dialogue, even if it's for a 10 or 15 minute period, it gives them the opportunity, gives you the opportunity to teach them, okay, how do you make eye contact? How do you have a firm handshake? How do you watch your posture during an interview? And what types of things should you say? And what and so that's a fun way to be involved in that as well. A little younger
Sure.
age, but
Sure.
we enjoy doing that. I love going over there with the 8th graders every year.
Yeah, I think they're doing career day at Paul Duke next
That's right.
week.
That is right.
Yes, I'll be there for an hour doing my little bit, but
So
that'll be
I
interesting.
think between the different community organizations, and particularly if you go back to when Peachtree Corners became a city, and we do have all this local involvement, whether it's communications or volunteer opportunities or career exposure for kids, bringing business owners together, we've just seen that over the past 5 years really expand, I love it. I think by those connections, you never know what you're going to accomplish.
It's funny as you mentioned kind of the interview practice for the young kids. I always find one interesting question is, so if you were to look critically at the Southwest Gwinnett Chambers, where do you think you'd see the greatest opportunity for the organization to improve? And it could be around how they engage with the members. It could be how they have impact in the community. What are some of the ways where you could see we could do a lot better?
Well, one of the things I'd like to see us do is, number one, how can we work with the Gwinnett Chamber, the big Gwinnett Chamber? How can we be an asset to them and them an asset to us? We want to explore that. We want to explore more ways to work with other community organizations, including the Peachtree Corners Business Association. How can we work together to do more? As far as looking critically through the critical lens of the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber, I think growing membership, and Beth Coffey has done a fantastic job as our director of sales and membership of really increasing the membership. But the more members you get, the more critical mass you get, the more you're able to do. You bring more people to volunteer events. You get more people at your first Friday event, and the more people you get there, the higher profile speakers sometimes you can get there. We typically have between 50 and 100 depending on who's speaking at that event. I'd love to see 150 there. You know, I want that to be the event that, regardless of who's speaking, I want to be there because I might run into Karl, or I need to see Rico and he's going to be there, and so I want to be at that event. And I think that's what we have to continue to increase that momentum, because we can do more as we expand our membership, and we can partner with more other organizations in the community when we do that.
That's absolutely fabulous. Well, I want to thank you so much for being our guest here today, Weare, the chair of the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce, and the Gwinnett Market president for Tandem Bank. Really glad that you took time and kind of share some of your thoughts, and more importantly, you know, I'd offer up the call to action to those business owners out there, those small business owners. You want to improve and grow your business, get involved. Whether it's the Southwest Chamber, Peachtree Corners Business Association, nonprofit groups, there's so many different ways to get involved in your community, to keep informed on the issues. But really, you know, your leadership in your business can be used elsewhere, and you could set the examples for the folks that you have. So reach out and start small. Join coffee on Friday mornings, 8:30, Atlanta.
Join Frank and the folks over there at Atlanta Bread Company. He makes it fun.
Absolutely, and then
would love to invite people to become a part and involved in the chamber. We do have, I'll mention our gala that's coming up in the spring. We have an annual gala, which is sort of our celebration of our accomplishments, our achievements, and recognizing certain people for good works, and just an opportunity for us all to get together and network. So that's coming up in March. This year we're doing it over at the Norcross Community Center, and we'll have a big dinner, and then we'll enjoy a play over there at the Lionheart. So that's always a nice event. But thank you, Karl. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to talk about the chamber, talk about Tandem Bank, and just the business opportunities in Southwest Chamber. Between both hats, business is very vibrant out there. It's very good. You know, there's certainly some things on the horizon that if you read the news, you know, we're concerned about. But I would say from where I'm sitting in the Southwest Gwinnett part of the county, that business is good.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Weare.
We'd like to thank Atlanta Tech Park for hosting the Capitalist Stage podcast. If you're looking to start a business and get more connected with the business community, please do take a visit here and see if it's a place that you might want to join and network with other entrepreneurs and people that are growing their business. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisor of Atlanta Peachtree. Our business advisors are available to help consult with small business owners, whether you're looking to grow your business through acquisition, you're looking to exit your business. We are the largest business brokerage firm in the country, and we really take pride in helping business owners through any phase of their business. Can be reached at www.tworld.com/Atlanta Peachtree. And Rico, why don't you tell a little bit about what you've got coming up?
Sure, there's so many things going on. So we have the next issue of Peachtree Corners magazine we're working on. 20 under 20 is the cover story. So we're sifting through, actually we just completed picking 20 of the kids that we're going to profile in our cover story that are from middle school on up to 20 years old. They're kids that have impacted either the community or have done really well in education or sports, just a whole well-rounded student. So we picked 20 of them, and there's also a runner-up list, if you will. So that'll be in the next issue, plus we're working on some of the feature stories in that. As far as podcasts go, besides this one, Peachtree Corners Life and the Ed Hour is going to be coming up. So we're interviewing Teresa Tomlinson in the next week or two. She's a U.S. Senate candidate here in Georgia, so we're going to be interviewing her. Also, we have Becky Fisher, I believe, from Paul Duke High School. She spent the summer at NASA, so she's going to be sharing that experience with us. So that'll be another podcast we're doing. And if you want to find out more podcasts, more stories, livinginpeachtreecorners.com is the place to go. And my day job is doing social media marketing, content marketing, video, product videos and stuff, and you can find my website at mightyrockets.com.
Fabulous. Also, where if someone wanted to reach the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber, what's the best ways to reach?
So, website, Southwest Gwinnett Chamber.org, certainly, and I believe we have a Twitter presence, LinkedIn presence, and
Yep.
Facebook presence. So, look for us there. And of course, the chamber has an office up here at Atlanta Tech Park. So, Beth Coffee is usually here, and I invite you to come visit with her.
Perfect. And if they wanted to reach you at Tandem Bank,
TandemBank.com, and my office is up here. I am so thrilled to be a part of the Atlanta Tech Park community here,
Sure.
and having my office here. So it's a lot of fun, and so come see us.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll look forward to more episodes coming up in the weeks. But thank you, everybody, and everyone have a great day. Take care.
Take care.